When I close my eyes, dream of you, holding your hand and walking with you. The laughter we shared, the moments spent together. We were of different colors, spoke different languages. No racism, no racism, say no racism. 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 Gathered flowers and laugh all the way, with the moonlight throwing its lights on our day. The color of your skin should not matter. Racism should have stopped when the world was flatter. No racism, no racism, say no racism. No racism, no racism, say no racism. No racism, no racism, say no racism. No racism, no racism. No racism, no racism, say no racism. No racism, no racism, say no racism. If you were to drown and your only hope was the color of the person holding rope, would you lose your life just out of spite? Oh, accept that rope and see them rise. Why can't we all live together in peace? Why can't all this racism just cease? No racism, no racism, say no racism. 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 Some people carry their honor in a flag, and of their nationality they brag. They feel differentiate. Those who are different, they discriminate. So many people still judged by their race. For such there never have to be a place. A fact of those untruthful words I do recall. There is no such thing as a fact of all. Holding the reins of power, not spiritually aware. And racism is just round me everywhere. And racism only leads to division and war. Just goes to show how ignorant some are. Our world is so sick from violence and hate. From the most advanced species, I think it's too late. No racism, no racism, say no racism. 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 No racism, say no racism. No racism, say no racism. No racism, 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 say no racism. No racism, say no racism. No racism, no racism, say no racism. No racism, no racism, say no racism. No racism, no racism, say